Hello and welcome to our live stream today. I'm Oliver Haya, commercial product manager at Rockwell Automation, working on software as a service. And I'm really excited to talk about why software as a service, or SaaS, can be so valuable for industrial equipment design. I often start conversations like this one by asking, what have you enjoyed most about using software as a service in your personal life or for other business tasks? Go ahead and drop a comment below to share your thoughts while we're talking. Software as a service is making its entry into industrial automation, and Rockwell Automation is preparing to release a lot of new products over the next couple years with these capabilities. Today, we're going to be talking about why this can be so advantageous for the design of industrial equipment and machinery. And I'm really excited because this is going to have some great impacts on you, our customers, and how you use our software and the outcomes you can achieve with it. Joining me today are Leo Kilfoy and Chris Como. Leo is the Director of Software as a Service, and Chris is our Principal Platform Leader, leading our design efforts around design software. And I'm going to start off with some questions for Leo here. I think that you'd probably agree software as a service is a relatively new concept for a lot of people in industrial automation. So when you're talking with them, what's your elevator pitch about why software as a service is different, or how to tell if it's different than just a subscription or a traditional software delivery?
Great question, Oliver. And it's a good place to start. SaaS cloud offering is as much as a business model as it is a technical solution. I see SaaS being made up of several key ingredients, components from a cloud strategy. So the first is the license model. Typical to traditional software that is potentially perpetual, paid up over long to update and such. The license model around SaaS is typically a subscription or consumption model. Many people use SaaS in their everyday world with products, things like iCloud, Netflix, Ring service for your doorbell. These services are charged monthly in a subscription model for their service. Other examples in the corporate world, a lot of people have gone to Microsoft Office 365, Salesforce, and other tools like that. That's the first item, is really kind of the license model. The second one's deployment. People are familiar with user experience. I like to use, for deployment, IT experience. Your IT experience is traditionally much simpler than classic enterprise software because these solutions are fully hosted and managed on the cloud software, meaning no software local installation, or oftentimes very small footprints. Updates, because of that, the updates are centralized and can be pushed, and you're always on the latest version, not waiting not only a year to get that new version. Oftentimes they come multiple times a month, but you're also getting those versions. You're always on the latest version. You have to wait for the IT group to do the installation. The final thing I would say with software as a service is it's scalable. SaaS scales as you grow. You need more users, consume more space, or you have a temporary need for demands. The cloud can grow with you. And I think those are some of the key, what I see as the key elements for software as a service.
Yeah, that's a really good way to help identify what you're looking at, right? You might still work with files, but the way you work with them might be different. So that makes a lot of sense. Most of our products today don't have a software as a service component, though. They just don't, but it could be a really good fit for a design portfolio for all the reasons you just mentioned. I love the scalability aspect. Can you talk about what you've seen some other industries do as they've moved towards software as a service, particularly for design software?
Yeah, absolutely. So you know that I have, and for everybody here, I have an engineering, design, and simulation background for about over 20 years. In that space, and that's a space where the software as a service has rapidly grown in the engineering space. An example of that would be like products like PTC Onshape, and there's several others that are CAD products that can be used for part and assembly design, but they're fully cloud hosted. It's a fully baked solution. It's not just the CAD product, but it also oftentimes has things like robust data management and workflow and bill of materials and analytics. Solutions like Onshape provide the ability for teams also to collaborate easier, some of the value in collaboration, all sharing a single source of truth, which is really kind of important. Another example would be some of my background is higher-end computer-aided engineering suites, which are now available on the cloud. All these tools provide the ability to fully simulate simple part designs to full system level designs entirely on the cloud. Things like, as an example, would be from a simple part simulation to a full vehicle crash simulation that an automotive company may need to do, or to do computational fluid dynamics around a vehicle, an aerospace company as an example. These solutions provide the reason why you might want to do that is they provide the virtual side of the digital twin. You're taking that CAD model that is talked about and validating the product design to make it easier ability to iterate quicker and to make sure that they're linked. At Rockwell, as Rockwell begins to deploy the SaaS to manufacturing, you can envision many design parallels. I see examples that get me excited are about the ability to design production line with multiple controllers, completely virtual, emulate the controllers and simulate the entire product line, and virtually commission that line before you ever lay the first piece of hardware in there. So I'm excited from the design side. It's a very great opportunity.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm struggling because you've named so many benefits, right? That there's so many great things that software as a service in the cloud can provide. Can you whittle it down? What's the single biggest benefit that you've seen from other industries you've worked in, or maybe your top three? How do we really narrow this to the best stuff?
Yeah, like you said, one benefit's tough. A short list would be the first one that I kind of mentioned earlier. To drill into a little bit more is collaboration. The ability to collaborate between suppliers and customers, geographically diverse teams, all sharing the single source of truth. Really, that's kind of a big thing. The second one is scale. The ability to scale up and down based on the demand, leads to your demands, and it leads to faster time to value. Oftentimes lower cost of ownership because you're only paying for what you use is another piece of that. Finally, security and uptime, improving your security footprint and the uptime of those applications. Cloud applications are often hosted on major environments such as Microsoft Azure that has an entire teams dedicated to cybersecurity and are guaranteeing uptime as well as guaranteed and oftentimes guaranteed application performance. This helps a lot. This also helps reduce some of your IT footprint that you need in-house to manage those applications. That's all bundled in that SaaS application.
Yeah, security is such a great point because it's one you don't hear about in the cloud very often, but the cloud can be much more secure because it's got so many more people focused on keeping it secure. That's great. Thank you very much, Leo. I appreciate it. If you're just joining us, we just heard from Leo Kilfoy about the basics of software as a service and how other industries have been adopting it. I'd love to hear from you now in the comments section again. What % of the software that you're using today goes towards designing equipment using software as a service? I'm going to switch over to talking to Chris now for a little bit. So Chris, you've been at Rockwell Automation for a while. We've worked together for years, and you've been using Rockwell Automation's products and software for a long time. Before any of it started converting to software as a service. What made you want to start thinking about new products or making new products that could be delivered as SaaS instead?
Well, first off, that's a great question. I look at this topic really as part of our mission as a technology company. That mission is centered around bringing future innovations into the industrial automation space. As the solution provider, we desire to bring more reliable, current, cost-effective, scalable, and secure offerings to our customers. And these are things we see in the commercial landscape every day. So when you step back and look at the values needed in the industrial space, they're very similar. And our customers are really asking for the same things. Our customers desire better cost prediction and planning throughout their year, and a SaaS-based offering allows for a more predictable view of that planning. Industrial automation solutions are constantly pushing the envelope with computing needs, and all that data is present in their systems and solutions, and the ability to scale and compute also naturally falls out there. We know that there's different parts of the automation systems that require additional contributors throughout the life cycle, and some for only a short amount of time. With the SaaS-based offering, you can accommodate those kinds of use cases, keeping it more cost-effective along the way. Now, this part really excites me as an engineer. It's also current. So with the SaaS-based offering, it allows for a more rapid deployment of current functionality and innovation as soon as it's available. We can provide, as Rockwell, more frequent drops of value that our customers can use in their automation system designs. And I believe that the remaining items also fall out as a natural need for our customers as well. Things like reliability of data, the ability to offer data backup, disaster recovery, and data replication services to make sure their data is always safe and available and on multiple devices as well. That global presence, many development teams today are in multiple regions throughout the world, and they collaborate on solutions together and need access to the latest data. Digital security, it's another major topic today. SaaS-based offerings help provide a level of digital security to augment their existing infrastructure. So overall, it's a match. With a SaaS-based offering, you'll see that you're able to spend more time on what matters and less time managing the underlying details. This keeps our customers focused on progressing their automation solutions and end products and offerings to others. And also, selfishly, I want to give our customers the edge they need to be more competitive in their landscape.
Yeah, that aligns really well with what Leo was saying earlier from the other experience he's had in other industries. So that's great to hear. Can you give me an example? You mentioned the more frequent value drops, and we've got Automation Fair coming up right around the corner. Can you hint or tease at some of the things that we're going to be showing at Automation Fair, and then maybe a little bit beyond Automation Fair?
Yeah, let's start with the Factory Talk Vault and some of the changes that we'll see there. First, we've updated the overall look and feel of the UI for the Vault itself. You'll see there's a new navigation through the Factory Talk Hub to bring you to the Vault, and that's the first major thing you're going to see, UI-wise. We've also added the ability to bulk upload or download your controller project files to and from your workstation to the Vault. Make it easier to send and retrieve your files there. After that, you're going to see a new level within the Vault to store your controller project files under what we call a solution. This solution will allow an organizational element to the projects that you store in the Vault. You can use this solution to bring together multiple controller project files that comprise the system as a whole. We're going to build on to that and add future additions here as well for additional file types that comprise the automation system, things like configuration files, HMI, simulation files. When we step back and look at what we're doing for the Factory Talk design tools, we've updated some of the look and feel of the summary card and detail views. Specifically, when you log in and look at the analysis, you're going to see a new safety card, new hardware card, interprocessor communication cards. And for the detail views on the analysis topics I just talked about, we've added the ability to export all the table views into Excel for additional workflows that customers may want to do there. We've added a few new detail views for the analysis topics as well. The hardware details view, there's now a tabular list of all the hardware used within the controller project file. We provide the catalog number, description, revision, vendor, and the quantity of each of the module types in the project file. We're going to be doing more in that area for the lifecycle content in the future as well. One of the more exciting additions is our interprocessor communications card. We've provided a graphical depiction of the produced consumed data between the controllers for the project file. So when you dive into the details page, you're going to see a tabular view of all of that data. It will be broken down by the produced data, the consumed, and the messages in the project file. And this provides the user with a good overview of how that controller communicates with other parts of the system. So there's a lot of great additions that are happening, and you're going to see more on the show floor as they are ready to deploy along the way.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm really excited about the work you're doing. The interprocessor communications card is one that's really stuck in my mind, visually stunning as well as incredibly helpful. So I'm looking forward to getting this in front of more people at Automation Fair in a few weeks. And we're going to have live demos of this on the show floor, right?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. So, for those of you watching, if you want to learn more about how we're transforming automation design with software as a service, you should come visit us at Automation Fair 2021 in Houston, or sign up to receive updates on our progress by clicking on the link that's in this post. Once again, this is Oliver Haya, and I want to thank you for watching us and commenting on us, and we're looking forward to seeing you at Automation Fair 2021. Thanks very much, and let's talk about software for the future of design.